everyone, I'm Linda Reed-Enever and welcome back to our first skills webinar for 2019. Our skills webinars are run weekly on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. and we have some amazing experts lined up for you this year, starting with the amazing Megan from Meet Edgar, who is here to join us to share with us tips around Instagram and all sorts of things. Now, Megan is a site partner with us at Business. We love Meet Edgar. It has been one of those tools that I have used on and off for many years. So if you thinking of checking out Meet Edgar today, Megan has a special offer for you to get a free month trial. So to extend the trial for 14 days to a month for you to be able to get out there and have a look at Meet Edgar and use it for yourself and touch base with it. I use it because I love evergreen content and being able to share stuff, and especially most of the educational stuff I share, it doesn't change. So that is where we are today, guys. Megan, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Linda. This is a really good blast from the past, just thinking about starting all those months ago, kind of meeting you for the first time and getting to create this relationship with your community has been so fun for Edgar. So we definitely appreciate it.
You are welcome. I am going to share to the group because I forgot that I didn't share that live to the group, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself and share what you're going to share with us today.
All right, perfect. So we'll kind of jump right in today. As Linda said, Meet Edgar is an automation tool that focuses around just being able to automate your social media in order to free up your time so you can focus on what really matters these days. And looking at the business group, it seems like you all know that engagement is where it's at. So we'll touch on that and kind of taking that from the great tips that Linda gives on Facebook over to Instagram. So I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. So pardon the awkward little change around here as get the slides going. And we'll go ahead and jump right in. So Instagram marketing is something that we offer now on our at Meet Edgar. And this is just done through our automation service. So right here is the code that Linda went ahead and mentioned. So we would love for you to give yourself this gift of a free month to free up some of your time. And what you're going to do is you can sign up on Edgar with the code business. If you have any problems at all, reach out to us, DM us on Instagram, or go ahead and email support@meetedgar.com and we'll be sure to get you hooked up with that. But going a little bit further here.
Wendy says that Instagram is her least favorite social channel. She's hoping it will change her opinion today.
Oh man, what a challenge. All right, Wendy, we'll look into that. And that's a really good transition right into this slide, Wendy. Appreciate that. So why you should love Instagram and actually be on it is because it is one of the most active social networks right now. It has almost 1 billion monthly active users. So it does make that the second most popular network after Facebook. And you can really use Instagram these days, not just to kind of create beautiful photos, as Linda was saying, but to actually drive traffic to your site and to actually make it something that supports your business. So we'll go over some of those things today. But to start out with, I want to kind of look at the differences here between two types of accounts you can use for Instagram. One is going to be your personal account. I'm sure many of you do that for your own personal reasons. It's got things like private settings, so you can keep it just to your friends and family. You typically see pretty good organic reach with your personal account. And it also has the ability to connect multiple Facebook pages and profiles to it. So a lot of businesses will keep their business account as a personal account if they want to connect a couple of Facebook pages to it, their own personal profiles, stuff like that. It can have a really good advantage to keeping your account personal. However, Instagram also went ahead and introduced a business account. And this is really cool because you can do things like have a contact button on it. You need to make it as easy as possible these days for your followers and community to know how to reach you. Yes. You can put your address and location if you make it a business account. You also get those all important follower analytics. So as we know, it is so important to get those insights. Exactly. And it also lets you
go with the business account, guys, from starters, because you want the insights.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're running blind.
So true. So that's definitely going to be your first kind of point of decision making if you're going to make your Instagram account a business account or a personal account. So after you've decided how to set up your profile, it's time to start talking about what you post on Instagram. Now, we've all had that moment where we sit down with our phone and we just look at the photos on our camera roll and we don't know how to use them for our business. So we're going to jump in here to actually think about the ways you can purpose those photos.
Actually, Megan, do you know what we should do right now?
Yeah.
We're live on an Instagram thing and we want people to do Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Why not take a screenshot of the webinar and post it on Instagram with a hashtag?
Please do so. I love that.
Go so do that one.
Accountability partner for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Tag me, guys. Linda Reed-Enever. Pop your Instagram photos up of the webinar, your favorite screen, whatever it is today. And I might just have a prize for someone who tags us.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, definitely use that hashtag and stuff so I can go and search them. I'd love to go ahead and see what you got.
I will practice what I preach right now.
For sure. Awesome. Cool. So some brands you'll notice on Instagram, you love following their feeds. You love actually connecting with them. And that's because they have such a deep understanding of why and what their content is supposed to be doing for their followers. And they come at it with this approach of a servant kind of attitude. They're there to serve their followers and create a community. So some of these things that I want you to think about when you're looking at your photos is how they can actually create some sort of trust, how they can bring vibrancy to the people's days, how they can establish some relevancy for your business, how they can communicate a sense of value that your business has out to your community, because more and more it's going towards that value-based selling on social media. How you can go ahead and impart some of your thought leadership, and how you can really create these empathetic connections with your Instagram followers, and how you show up and commit to them every day. So we'll kind of go into these things, but it really is important for you to have that deep understanding of how your photos can actually create these things and support your business and not just be a time suck during your day. So going a little bit more, as you start to do this, you want to kind of practice what we call conscious sharing when you're on Instagram, especially doing it for your business. So you want to start asking yourself, you know, who is this helpful for? Is this helpful to boost my ego right now? Or is this helpful for my target audience? You always want to flip it around and know that you're serving your audience and offering them that all-important piece of information or that piece of entertainment that will emotionally connect them to your brand. So you want to ask yourself that question when you're looking at your photo. Who is this for? Is it true to my brand? Is it going to be that authentic connection that people are looking for? And really have a goal behind each piece of content you're posting. Because as Linda was saying at the beginning, that all important goal and strategy and analytics is what's going to set you apart and really make your follower count as well as your traffic driven from Instagram skyrocket. So you want to make sure you have these goals and strategies set. What else makes these brands stand out is they create a place for people to believe in their brand. They create this inspirational aspect, which is so awesome for your followers. So when brands are able to create something that people believe in, and they are able to create this captivating content on a consistent basis, you get not what is just marketing, you get this entire brand that people want to rally behind and they want to tell their friends about, and they want to get that great word of marketing. So you want to be a brand people want to hang out with on Instagram.
Absolutely.
And what really helps do this is that emotional glue that can hold stuff together. And that's thinking about things about, you know, why would someone want to follow my feed? It's to get entertainment, it's to get value, it's to get that emotional connection. And you also want to think about the buyer's journey on Instagram. You know, not everyone is always going to be ready to buy your product or service. So it's important.
Sorry, we have got a quick question, and it was my fault because I was posting to Instagram at the time, trying to do multiple things at once. Sophia has just asked us, and it's a really good question. Can you change a personal profile into a business profile? I did mine. It was pretty easy.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I did mine. It was pretty easy to convert. Have you ever had to do one?
Yeah, I actually have done one. We have a blog post about it, and I'll go ahead and link it in here at the end. But yeah, you absolutely can.
Yep, nice and easy. And look, I did mine because I wanted the analytics, and especially with Eventbrite running events, you can put it, I don't know if you know this, you can put a get tickets link if you connect your Eventbrite up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know, really handy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you get a second button if you use Eventbrite, guys.
Very nice. Cool. Yeah,
sorry
definitely.
About that. But
no, no worries at all. Keep the questions.
My apologies, guys. Trying to practice what I preach and do two things at once.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? So how do you get this emotional connection with your audience? It's all about knowing your audience persona, having that image in your mind about who you're talking to. And when you're constructing your Instagram captions, actually talking to that one person. You don't want to be creating captions that are just broadcasting out there to everyone, because if you're creating content for everyone, probably no one's going to like you. That all important sort of niche it down content is what Instagram's going to be good for. So create that audience persona, have that person in mind, and write your status update for that one person, and you'll see it speak to your community so much better. And if you're not sure who your audience persona is, if you're not sure what their pain points are, what kind of content is really going to resonate with them, ask your community. People love to talk on social media. So get out there, go ahead and create some surveys, go ahead and DM people who you know could use your product or service, and create conversations with them so your content can really start to resonate with people.
And that's a perfect spot to, BBB is a perfect spot to go in and ask the community, I do this, what would you like to see from me?
Totally. That is an amazing resource to tap into. I love that. And going on further with that, it's not just about solving people's pain points on Instagram and going ahead and promoting yourself. No one wants to follow a feed that's just promotion after promotion without anything that's actually going to be offering them some value, because not everyone is going to be ready to drop $300 on a product or service. They want to be able to know you and like you before they fork over their money. So that's what Instagram's going to help you do. It's going to get that emotional connection, and it's going to get people trusting you so that they feel so good about handing over their money when they're ready to buy and when they need that product or service. So start thinking about those softer kind of pieces of content that you can also create, those inspirational quotes, those things that you say every day in your business that might be attributed to your own thought leadership. If you don't have that, or if you're not comfortable with that, go out and search some quotes and put them on a beautiful Canva background or something, and you'll still get that good variety within your Instagram posts. And again, these things are going to make your brand stand out so much more because you're offering that up in a way that your community can know, like, and trust you on Instagram, so they can get that bond going. And then when it's time for them to buy, you've nurtured them so they feel really good about going with your brand over your competitors.
Now, guys, you've got Canva now that you can have on your phone. The other app that I like, and I made my $4.99 back on from the Play Store, was Word Swag, because it has some quotes built into it. So you can it's really good for image over text. It's good for setting up your logos, your branding, all of those sorts of things. And there is a really funky app called Mosho that works really well for Instagram videos. So if you've got multiple videos, when you go to an event, Megan, I know that I've got multiple photos of one event. Now I can spin the feed and people get really, really peeved with me. Or I can put them into something funky. So, look at the apps out there. There are so many amazing apps that help you connect with Instagram, and WordSwag's great. Mosho's great. Canva is now available on your phone. There are so many, and I'll try and put some links in to the replay later on today so that you've got them, so that you're able to use that sort of stuff and really get out to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely take advantage. I think Canva is even an Australian company. I just
learned. It is. Melodies based in Sydney.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. We'll claim our Australian company connections.
So good. Cool. Yeah, definitely take advantage of anything free that's going to make things so beautiful. Like Linda was saying, you want to make sure that your Instagram feed is pretty well curated, especially since there is so much attention grabbing going on Instagram these days. People know it's where all of the people are hanging out these days on social media. So you want to make sure that your stuff stands out. With that being said, competition isn't always a bad thing. If your industry is really saturated on Instagram, you don't have to think that you shouldn't be on there, because really when it comes down to it, you are the only one out there who can speak in your voice. So you need to start to put yourself in your business, especially in your Instagram posts. If people are doing the same thing that your business or service does, there's still room for you to be on Instagram, because you can put your own unique spin on it, and you can have these sort of connections with people. That's maybe someone resonates with your message better than a different brand. So don't be shy about it. If other people are out there, go ahead and use what's worked for them and go ahead and put your own spin on it. So here on this slide is something that I think everyone's Instagram account should have, even if you've been around for a while, is putting your creation story out there. And that's because people like to be centered in their life. They like to know that beginning, middle, and end, that first question many people ask is, you know, where are you from? So take those social skills that you know in your real life and take them over to Instagram and tell people where your company is from. So, you know, this is our creator, Laura. She created Me Egger about 4 years ago. And this is what post that we've done on Instagram. It's just going ahead and putting a post of her and her family there and speaking to why she started her business. You know, she started it because she had the same struggles that a lot of our followers do. That sort of, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much time marketing my business that I don't have enough time to actually work on it. So creating this app freed up her time to actually have that sort of time to work on her educational sources and not have to market it so much. So putting it out there, being really authentic with it, we've seen such good reactions and engagement on posts like this. So think about your creation story and go ahead and share it with your followers. And that's not only going to help separate you from the other noise out there in your industry, but it's also going to get that trust factor skyrocketed so much faster. Showing your face, showing your personality, people want to know who they are buying from.
Beautiful. Guys, so, just another call to action. Remember to add your LinkedIn. Not your LinkedIn. Gosh, I will right today. I need more coffee. I need more coffee. Pop your Instagram links into the chat. If you're watching the live stream, if you're up here on the webinar, pop it in to the chat, because this is all, this week in particular is Social Media Boost Week inside the Business Group. So we want to boost our channels together. You'll actually, at 6 o'clock each night this week, you're going to see a new thread come in to help you boost your social media profiles. So pop your LinkedIn, let's get some networking and happening together. And like all things, if you want someone to follow you, tell us what you share.
Perfect. Again, just getting that sort of consistency going of knowing what to expect. Awesome. So going a little bit further, beyond just having creation stories, what we also like to suggest is making sure that you are asking questions on Instagram, because again, that engagement is not only important in your Facebook groups like business, but also in your Instagram feeds. So things to start out with, especially when it can get a little bit scary if you're putting a question out there and just hearing chirp, chirp, crickets, no one's really responding, is thinking about ways you can spin those questions to get some simple answers. You know, we are all so busy these days. I get it. We're not engaged. We just scroll through our feed. We don't even stop to double tap sometimes. But if you're asking questions, you can kind of stop people sometimes and get that engagement that you're looking for. So think about short questions, simple ones that require just short few answer words there. You know, poll questions do really well. You know, what's your favorite time to post, morning or evening? People just have to type one word. They could even type like a little sunshine emoji in there. And it makes it really easy, again, to get that engagement that's going to reward you in the algorithm, that's going to get your content sharing so much more. So it's another great piece of Instagram-worthy content, just asking those questions to get that engagement.
Okay, I just need to answer a question for Wendy here. Wendy has a great photo that she wants to upload. She's doing something that I think most users do when they first start in the Instagram world. She's trying to load it from her desktop. And look, I've done it. I've been there. Profile images. Instagram is a phone-based app. It is. If you want to load directly to Instagram now, Megan's going to teach you how you can do some desktop stuff if you've got Macs and iPhones and all of that sort of stuff now. But to load images currently, and unless you're using a program like Reed-Enever or Later or one of those ones, you need to load from your phone. So it's just a matter of transferring that photo either to Google Drive or Dropbox, having it on your phone and loading it and posting using the Instagram app from there. They're particularly funny about that.
Yeah, they sure are.
Yeah. So it is the thing there. The other thing, Wendy, is you need to understand is you can't, high res images are only going to go so well. Instagram is a short, small 800 by 800 pixel is the suggested size for getting images and that out there. So it might pixelate. So you might need to look at changing the resolution or something like that. Because I've just searched how to do it and saw there's loaders. Took it from the phone, but it's not as good. But yeah, just transfer it over to Google Drive if it's there, and then just load it and use the Instagram app. The Instagram app is what, if you've got the image on your phone, would be the way that I would load it right now until Megan shows you some extra secrets.
It's true. They are very particular about that. But if you are doing it natively, on your phone is going to be the best way for that.
Yep.
And you know, with anything, it is all about persevering. They want it to be a community where people are engaging and talking. So think about it as little by little adding things on. You know, you don't want to be someone who gets in there and gets so frustrated if you don't have 1 million followers right away.
Yeah.
I like to kind of think of it like a marathon. Every day you do a little bit, you have that habit formed, you log your miles, and in the end you can run 26 miles, which is pretty incredible. Social media is the same way in a lot of ways. You're building followers one by one, and take advantage if you're a smaller business right now and only have a few followers to actually directly engage with them, direct message them. It's going to be something that those followers who are there with you from the beginning will be your evangelists as you go throughout and you grow your business and you continue to share your creation story, your successes, your failures, and they're going to champion your brand. So kind of sticking with it, having that perseverance and knowing it's not going to happen overnight, but if you can do this over time, you'll grow those followings just as Linda has with the business community on Facebook.
Yeah, and guys, we turned 5 on Valentine's Day. So that, I love it when people, yes, it says something about my life, doesn't it?
Oh, no, that's such a good one now.
But yes, no, we do. We turn 5 on Valentine's Day, but that group and that community, and even all of my personal branding on social media, has taken time to build.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken time to network. It's taken time to do all of those sorts of things. And it's also taken really good tools and advantages in using, because me, I do multiple things at once. It's taken finding the right tools to help. See, posting natively to Instagram then was just like, oh man. Finding the right tools that will help you grow your business and allow you to stay active without having to walk away. And this screen I love, give people a reason to come back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not going to be something where a follower follows you and if you don't give them that reason to come back, that they're going to just keep following you, but out of the goodness of their heart. You do have to do that work as marketers these days. And something that I like to kind of have people think about when they're thinking how they can construct their Instagram is the all-important Instagram stories. These are so popular these days. And one of the best ways to use them is to train your followers that you're giving them something in those stories that other people don't get elsewhere. So they want to check in on that story every day. It's that content that lasts for only 24 hours. And you want to think of it kind of like that Netflix effect, that you want people to want to binge and come back and be really excited to watch your story the next day. So it's not going to be something that is having to take a lot of time out of your day either. The video aspect on the stories is a quick 15-second video. If you're not comfortable in front of the camera, it is the perfect place to start to learn. Everyone somewhere, so it's the perfect place to get up there. It's only there for 24 hours.
Yep.
And to give your followers a reason to check in every day, to get that behind the scenes content, to get that stuff that people aren't getting elsewhere, and to continue to follow your brand on Instagram. So, one way you could do this is every time you leave one of your Instagram stories, say what you're going to be talking about tomorrow to, again, train your followers that you're showing up for them consistently because you care about giving them all of that awesome value-added content. So going a little bit further, you want to also make sure that when you're producing these, you want it to be so targeted. And this goes really right back to the fact that you want to treat people on Instagram the same way you treat them in your real life. You want to be asking questions. You want to be interested in what they're saying as well. So using your Instagram stories for doing things like polls, you can add fun little yes/no polls. You can even add a little answer box on your Instagram stories where people can type into you. Again, people spend so much money, bigger brands spend so much money getting market research, trying to develop who their audience persona is. When you can do all of this directly on social media these days, it is a great way to be able to keep up with the big players, to be able to get that same information, but do it in such a more sustainable way and do it in a way that your community wants to keep following you. And as I mentioned before, it's not always about follower count on social media either. So talking to your target audience, knowing who you're talking to, and alienating other people is not a bad thing. You don't need millions of followers. You need like 1,000 really strong followers, or even 500 really strong followers is going to be far more valuable to you than 1 million who aren't engaged with your content. And going a little bit further, I know I've been harping in on talking directly to your audience, but that is something that we've seen at Edgar grow our Instagram following hugely. We talk directly to what we call our audience persona. And we do this by, again, surveying people. If you're not sure what kind of survey tools to use, SurveyMonkey is a great one you can do. comment for conversation, get off of your own page and go out and look at some of your followers' pages. Go ahead and click on their handles, see what they're posting, see the language they use, and use that language to inform your own marketing strategy. Because if someone's reading something that is connecting with the way they speak and the language they use to describe something, it's going to resonate with them. They're going to have that, oh, yes, me too moment, and they're going to connect with your brand that much stronger. So as we were talking about with the bigger companies, getting off of your page and going and doing a little bit of creepy stalking of them on Instagram is hugely valuable. So you want to kind of think about this as not copying what they're doing, because again, no one wants to follow something that they've seen a million times. You don't just want to regurgitate their information, but you want to see which of their posts are getting the most engagement and think how you can offer that same value to your audience. What I like to kind of call this is the niche it down to blow it up. So niche down what you are good at, speak to what you are good at, and you'll see your Instagram feed blow up because it'll come up authentically. People will want to learn from you and people will respect you so much more. So if you're not sure what to start talking about, go out and see what others in your industry are doing, but take that information and put your own spin on it. Going a little bit further, this goes right back into the idea of having a consistent brand across all your social channels is important, but on Instagram, it is especially important to bring your brand voice into the visual side of things. So when you're looking at your feed, it's especially important to look at that top 9 photos because that's what people are going to be seeing, and think how you can get that sort of consistency. So your followers kind of want to be able to know what to expect. And it comes out of this idea that it takes about 6 seconds for your brain to even like find an image and place it within a context. So if your colors and branding and stuff like that are consistent every time, it can speed that up. So when people are scrolling through their feed and they see that picture that they know are your brand colors, it's going to have that instant, oh, I want to stop and read this. I know I like this brand moment for them. So think about not just posting randomly all the time, but using kind of a tool, as Linda was saying, like Edgar, to plan all of this out can actually help get your branding that much more consistent. And it can create a much better and smoother experience for your photos showing up in people's feeds.
And then you can do the random posts in between, because I still do the random posts as much as I plan and as much as I used to do that sort of stuff. You'll still get the random face. Like I did one yesterday because Megan, I was literally, and this is about the personality and using your face in social media. I talk about it so much. One of the posts I did yesterday was my guilty face, because I did everything but edit my book, which is what I put yesterday aside for. I recorded tutorials, I recorded how-tos, I even spoke to the accounts team. I did everything other than edit my book. So I thought, okay, it's time to put up an accountability post to go, this is my guilty face, because I have done everything but do what I said I was going to do today.
I love that term.
And it went well. It, like, people reacted to it because people want to know that I don't have it all together. You know,
none of us
relate to all of that. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it was all great. And looks like we're heading into the screen now.
I know. I can't believe that story was the perfect transition. Yeah. So as Linda was saying, people
and we didn't prepare earlier.
I promise that was completely organic. Yeah, as Linda was saying, showing that behind the scenes, showing that sort of authenticity is something that you'll see do really well, and you'll see good engagement from those posts. You know, pulling back the curtain, getting a little bit lighthearted, showing your face. I know a lot of people are a little bit afraid to put their personality into their business, but really those are the posts on social media that are going to get you the most engagement. So take a lesson from Linda over there and make sure that
even like a dork.
Don't worry about looking like a dork. That should definitely be the tagline there. For yeah, and this actually kind of goes back to Wendy's first question there about your personal and business accounts and stuff like that and how you link them. So you can change your personal one into a business one to get those awesome benefits of having your contact information and having those analytics. But I also like to kind of throw this out there that if you have a ton of personal followers on your own sort of Instagram account, but you'd like them to start also following your brand, don't forget about the fact that you can @tag people, @mention them. Go ahead and do some shout outs on your personal account to get people over to your business account there. And think about the creative ways you can do this without being too salesy as well. You know, when you're sharing a photo or a video in your story, you can actually mention people in your story as well. So if you don't want that to show up on your curated feed for your personal account, think about doing it in the story, going ahead and, tagging some of your friends who will get the benefits of your business account, stuff like that, and start to cross promote them that way. So the all-important Instagram algorithm. Instagram algorithm is really interesting because it takes a few things into account.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it takes interest. So how much that Instagram thinks you're going to care about a post is the first thing they're looking at. So they're going to give higher rankings to things that they think matter to you. And that's all based upon what you've done in the past. We look at algorithms in a way that people hate them, of course, but a lot of the time, you'll also hear positive things about people like with their Spotify playlist being like, oh my God, Spotify knows me so well. I needed this song right now. And that's coming from an algorithm. That same sort of thing goes into the Instagram one. The more you're liking stuff, the more you're engaging, the more they're going to show you that kind of content.
And I hate to say, guys, the algorithm's working in our favors. We've just got to work within it. As much as everyone wants to say, Jeff and Lena saying on the live stream, they're late. Don't worry, I will have a lovely curated replay for you later, guys. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We're in time differences here too. So Victoria and New South Wales and the eastern states run on daylight savings time, which puts us an hour behind. Sometimes 3 hours behind some of the states. So we will have some people that have got time delays because of the lovely daylight savings thing. But really with the algorithm, and I keep saying this, you can't fight the algorithm. The algorithm's actually working there to deliver you content you want to see. So the only thing we have to do is deliver our audiences content we want to see, and therefore we will get better engagement.
So true. Yeah. So taking a look at things like those analytics and stuff to see what type of content your community is liking and seeing and creating more of that is going to really help you succeed there. The second thing they're going to look at after interest is what we call recency and dwell time. So recency, super simple to explain if it's come up right away. Dwell time is an interesting one in the fact that if people are staying on your post for longer, they're going to go ahead and think of that as really good content that other people want to see. So some of the things I like to suggest playing around with is not just doing a one-line caption, but actually taking some time to write a couple paragraphs. It's not like Twitter. You don't have that 280 character limit. You can share a couple paragraphs. I've seen some great success on people's accounts where they have taken like half of a blog post and put it in as an Instagram caption. And that gets people, if it's valuable content, to sit there and read it. And that's a signal to the algorithm that that post is really valuable and people are staying on it and looking at it longer. And so take some time to test with it.
Take the headline of that blog post and make it your quote image. Make it your image over text.
I love that for sure.
So, because I've got better at doing this year, but I'd suck at it doing it too, because I don't do it consistently, guys. But when I write a new blog and everything's on brand, and in January, why, I wasn't working, I was really good at resizing the image in Canva to an Instagram post, an Instagram story, and going, you on the blog. And so putting characters and that in it, and then reminding people that on Instagram that I do blog. And that's if you're not camera shy, if you're one of those things, this is one of the things that you're doing right now. You're blogging for your business, or you're putting product photos out. This is one of the value adds that you can really share without having to do the selfie. Because I know when people come into my workshops and they go, I don't want to do a selfie. And then we just do one together and it's over and done with.
Yeah, there's so much strength in having selfie numbers.
Yes.
Sure. I love that. And playing to what Instagram is really great at too is, categorizing posts by hashtags. Their whole system is categorized by hashtags. So take advantage of that. You can have up to 30 per post. And I always like to consider having a different mix of hashtags in there. You don't want to always be doing the top hashtags because it's very hard to show up in the explore feature if you're doing ones that have like 5 million hashtags on it. So you could do a mixture of having a couple that are really popular, a couple that are medium, and then creating some of your own for your specific branding purposes.
I'm just popping a tool that I use.
Oh, awesome.
Purpose. Oh, if you've not seen this one, you're going to love this.
Okay, cool.
Display purpose.
Display purpose. No, I haven't heard of that.
So it filters out the banned hashtags.
Oh, nice.
Because there's a massive Instagram ban list, guys. And they're banned for reasons that you wouldn't think. Did you see eggplant made it to the banned list this year for 2019?
Oh, God. You know what? I am not about that. How random.
I don't know what people are using eggplants for to make it go on the ban list, but I do not want to find out, so I'm not going to search that hashtag. Sure. But just make sure. So displaypurpose.com, I don't know, hopefully I've got that link in right. Let me just go and check it out. Actually, I'll get you the right link, guys. I'll pop it in the Facebook Live when I get back. When I get back to the computer, guys, there's too many things happening at once, and I will close the screen that I don't mean to close in a minute. I am not focused on what I'm doing here. Okay, displaypurpose.com. So it filters out the banned hashtags. It's got 30 minutes of it allows you to put 30 hashtags in, but you can put 3 or 4 keywords in and it will come up with the hashtags for you. And it's a free tool. So I love it. When I'm doing my Instagram planning, it's out there beside me. When I'm putting blogs in and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, sorry guys, I got the link wrong when I put it in the first time. But it's an amazing tool out there. And that should hopefully help everyone get out there, because banned hashtags aren't a bad thing. You know, they're a good thing. They're banned for a reason. Yeah, but we don't want to be using them because we don't want to end up being shadow banned either.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take a look at that tool. Thanks for popping that in there.
Yeah, not a problem.
That's great. Yeah, so definitely take advantage. 30 hashtags. It's all categorized by hashtags. And I know when we've been talking a lot throughout this, it's been a lot about focusing on sort of telling your story, your creation story, stuff like that, and less on the physical product. So I wanted to touch a little bit about experience marketing, because that's what Instagram is really going to kind of pull your followers in on when it comes to selling your actual product or service. So if you have something like a restaurant, or if you have something like a beauty product that you're going ahead and shipping to people, these 2 shots here are really great because they're creating experiences that your community can become a part of your marketing team. These days, it's not as much about the message. It is more about who's saying the message when it comes to the strength of Instagram marketing. And that's that people want to buy from, again, people they know, like, and trust, from their friends, stuff like that. So if you're creating these experiences, their friends are going to start to share this on Instagram. They're going to tag your brand in it. They're going to have this really great experience where their friends are seeing it, and you get that great influencer effect. So think how your product can actually be showcased on Instagram in a way that really calls to people to want to share it. And you want to kind of think too, when you're marketing it on your own side, about one of my favorite examples is an airline ticket. You know, going through the process of actually booking an airline ticket is kind of a drag. You don't want to market that experience of logging on, looking at the dates, shelling over your money. What you want to market on social media is that dream vacation. So showing a picture of someone on a beach, showing that relaxing image is going to make people actually want to use the service, like Kayak, to book their plane ticket way more than the process. So taking it out of the process and into the experience is really going to get you the stronger social media posts there. And going further beyond just your promotional posts, you want to make sure you do have your educational posts. Now, that how-to content is so great on any social network, but especially on Instagram, because you're able to do it in a way that's visual, and people's brains, again, are going to remember content better if it's paired with an image. So this is going to be important for getting your brand color consistencies going on that last slide that we were looking at. But it's also going to be important to start to show up consistently for people in ways that you can do things like create the hashtag Tip Tuesday post. So every Tuesday, your followers know you're going to show up with a tip they can use. And that way, it kind of becomes what we call the sort of fundraiser marketing, where you're offering value, value, value. And when it comes time to ask them to buy something, it's such a more elegant sale. So think about ways you can teach something. If you're not sure, ask your friends and family what comes easy to you, what sort of passionate things you like to talk about. Sometimes we get a little bit blinded when we're thinking about what our expertise is. So reach out, ask your friends and family what you're really passionate and good at teaching, and bring that into your Instagram feeds to really start to add value for your followers. Product updates. If you have a product or service, making sure you're going ahead and putting that out. So this post right here is one that we do every time we have a new feature. Again, people can see right away that it has our little icon Edgar there, so they know it's our brand, and they know they want to stop and read it because they want to know about that new feature. And even though we send these out in email form, you want to make sure that all the content you're putting out there is in a place that your community wants to seek it. So not everyone's going to open every email you send. Our inboxes are really full these days as well. So having this in both places and having that sort of what we call omni-channel approach, that information across all your marketing sources, is really going to lead to such a strong relationship, so that everything that your followers need to know is available where they want to find the information. Going further onto the thought leadership side of things, this also goes back to the point that even though it's a saturated market out there in almost every industry, there is something that you do different. So start to share the things that you say every day within your business. You want to make sure that you are buying from a business that has the values behind it that you agree with. So if you're sharing these sort of quotes right here, this is a quote from our founder, Laura, that gives your audience a way to kind of know who she is beyond just that she created a software business. So think about ways you can take things you say every day in your business, even if it's to your team, that sort of internal culture. If you're able to share that to the external social media world, it's going to make that great partnership again, making your followers really excited about sharing your information with their communities. So your thought leadership that you share with your internal team, definitely think about ways you can externalize that and bring your whole community into the whole process. Numbers, numbers, numbers. People love data these days. And on Instagram, it can be sometimes kind of hard to think about ways that you can get numbers out there. But think about ways you can do this with the carousel feature in Instagram. I love how Refinery29 did here, that they just made something super simple out of these numbers they wanted to share and made it visual. Now, if they had just done this in a blog post or something, these numbers would be way harder for me to ingest. So think about the data that you have that you would like to share, the numbers that you like to share with your community, and how you can make that image stand out on Instagram like they did here. Humor, relatability, and tagging. So never underestimate the fact that humor can be something that bonds a person with a brand. If you're having a bad day and a brand shows you a funny joke like this and it brings a smile to your face, that's something that's adding value to people's days. A lot of the time, I know that our clients, especially some Edgar users, get a little bit scared to do these softer posts because they want to just focus on, oh, I got to get my blog traffic out there. I got to get my product and promotions out there. But guys, these are the things that are going to keep your followers, especially those who aren't ready to buy yet, coming back for more. And these are the types of content that gets shared the most on social media.
Exactly.
So your followers are going to share it, which opens up more eyeballs on your content because then their followers are going to go ahead and see it. So think about ways you can relate, think about ways you can make people laugh and join in the conversation.
If you need more tipping over the edge of the psychological of bringing the human in, guys, make sure you attend the webinar we've got with Cara Lambert on the 26th of February, all about the psychology of social media.
Nice.
Cara is going to tell you just what Megan's been telling you right now about sharing that social, sharing that softer side, and really getting in there and sharing. People buy from people.
That is the best way of putting it.
And we've just got to, whether you're a large corporate organization or whatever you are, people buy from people.
So true. Yeah. And that behind the scenes story is so important. Thinking back to like Apple's story with Steve Jobs, it comes from the garage, stuff like that. People latch onto these stories so much. So share that behind the scenes content and share it authentically. This is a post on Instagram's on me, Edgar's Instagram of one of our company retreats. It is nothing that's polished. It is shot on a phone. It could be a video that's shot on a phone. And it doesn't come across salesy at all. It's just some behind the scenes content showing how hard we like to work to make sure our software is supporting our followers and is supporting our community. So don't be afraid if it's not polished, if it's not something that looks like it's been shot with a super nice camera, you can still post it on Instagram and get some good engagement
and
there.
Go for it. And do it. The non-polished ones are great.
I totally agree with that. I think they come across way more authentic. And again, it makes it a little bit more human and a little bit more relatable than sort of like a super polished video with things coming in and out everywhere.
And like when you and I were talking before about, how my feed is a little bit more random and it's a little bit more, this was happening behind the scenes or this arrived today. And I can't wait because I know there's an Instagram post coming where my gold books arrive for my workshop. And I'd be stalking the postman until I get them. Because I have the photo plan, but once again, it's not going to be a polished shot. It's just going to be an excited face with me with my gold workbooks because I want those gold workbooks to be here. But Megan and I were talking, sometimes it's my favorite ones to follow are the ones that aren't so polished, the ones that are just real.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, me too.
With a little bit of polish thrown in.
It's got to have that relatability, you don't want to be like, oh, that person's perfect. That's annoying. Like you want that really relatable kind of aspect to it. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to go ahead and get that unpolished stuff up there as well. Reviews are another really great thing
Yes.
to put up, because social proof, again, going back to the fact that it's more about who is saying the message these days than ever on social media. People want to buy from things that they trust. If it's a big ticket item, you're not going to feel comfortable buying it right away if you just heard about that brand. But if you saw a friend who bought something from that brand, that trust factor is going to go up more. So having that social proof is really great. And you can do reviews on Instagram. We like to do them with a template that's already seen and made. So, make a template with your brand colors, stuff like that. Get a short quote from it. If you have a longer review, you can put the rest of it over on the side, similar to what Linda was referring to with the blog post headline and quote. Get creative with ways that you can get your social proof out there on Instagram.
Yeah. And if they're live on other channels, guys, take screenshots. So if you get a Facebook review, take a screenshot of the Facebook review. If it's on a course or on a product or on a shopping platform, because that shows the authenticness of it. It shows how, I'll get it out eventually. It shows how authentic that post actually is. It isn't and share that excitement, because you are no more excited. You will never be more excited about a review than the moment you've got it.
Oh, I love that. So true.
So that's the time to take a screenshot of it and write the post. And whether you put it out straight away or not, that's the time to act on it, because you deserve it, because you got that review and you got that great feedback and that great testimonial. Doesn't have, and share your excitement, because that is the emotion that you want to convey to your audience. And the time to do that is when you receive it.
Yeah, that's so important, especially the fact that as small businesses and solopreneurs, a lot of the time you get a little bit shy about sharing things that's said nice about you. But, thinking about how you can couch it in a way of gratitude, thanking people for being in your community and sharing their review and stuff like that. Like, it's not going to come across as something that's bad at all. I know it can be something that's a little bit scary to do, but definitely take and run with that excitement. I like that. Cool. Contests on Instagram are huge. People love to share contests with their friends. They love to be helpful. They love to be competitive. So think about ways that you can get really exciting contests up on your feed. This not only attracts more followers, but can also be used to attract followers. Say to enter this contest, you have to follow us on Instagram. You have to tag us with a photo using our product, something like that. Think about ways that you can get with other companies to cross-promote your contest, doing things like bundling products or services. Having that network effect is really, really great.
And talking about that, if you take a photo of today's webinar, there's a prize.
There we go.
We'll be looking for the most creative post, and the most creative post that goes out there today will get a brainstorming call with me worth $295. So you get an hour with me.
That sounds so fun.
I can record that reaction. Nice. So that's your prize, guys. So I want to tag me Edgar. Say that you're on the webinar and tell us what you loved about it. And you post up a photo of the webinar today with something key that you learned, and tag me. That will be the bonus. And I am getting messages from the accounts team and my husband right now going, what? So I see your reaction, but it's in text.
That's so great.
So you need to go at Linda Reed-Enever. Okay. And you bear in mind that I am just back at work. So I love bonus. So that's the bonus. You do that, you get a brainstorming call with me, because that's the Instagram contact today. But it has to be on Instagram. I have to be tagged, and so does me, Edgar. And it has to be about this webinar.
Nice. We'll definitely be looking for those. That's so awesome. So also with Instagram stuff, remember that you want to be able to educate people, but you also want to be driving traffic to your site. You want to have that really great ability to capture people's attention and create community and get followers, but also take them off of Instagram to get your full content. So you can do things like have a short link involved. The ACLU does this really well. They just do aclu.org/blog. So you don't need to have the entire blog URL within your Instagram caption here. It's going to be the first blog post, their newest one right there, that people can click on and get to. So again, people aren't able to actually click on things within an Instagram post like this. But if you're able to just have a short URL people can remember, it's a great way to get traffic from that post in there. Again, it is going to be something that is so important to think about your evergreen content on Instagram as well. We talk about evergreen content on a lot of networks, and sometimes Instagram is one that isn't mentioned on as much just because it is more of a visual sort of snap a photo, share it kind of network. But it's something that you should definitely be thinking about with your blog posts, with your content you're creating, to make sure that you're capturing people whose eye might be capturing an image differently, or whose language might be tricking their brain to want to click through on something different than someone else's. So generating different images around one blog post, or generating different headlines around one blog post that you can share multiple times on Instagram, is a great way to compel people who didn't have time to click on it the first time or read the blog post the first time. Absolutely. To still have that information. So guys, evergreen content strategy definitely works on Instagram still. Going a little bit further about the traffic driving areas of Instagram is you can put a clickable link in your bio, and you can switch this out a lot. So a lot of the times you'll see what companies do is they'll have a little snippet from their blog post or from a webinar or something and say, get the full one. The link is in your bio, and you can go up, you can click on the link in the bio that way. So if you don't have a URL that's easy to remember, like that ACLU/blog one is, you can always put it in your bio here and direct people to click it right from there. My favorite thing about clicking through is a tool called Linktree, linktr.ee.
I was actually just going to go and get Linktree.
Oh, awesome. Man, it is so helpful. It has really driven up our engagement so much. And why this is because it lets your content live past your feed, because what you can do is say our link is in the bio, and people are going to click on a Linktree link here. It looks like a normal link, and they can choose which one they'd like to click on. So we usually keep our newsletter sign up one there. We have our latest Facebook Live there. We have our latest blog posts there. And again, it just lets your content live longer than the lifespan of the feed. And it allows you to drive traffic to multiple places. It allows your community to get that information where and when they want it. So if you haven't checked out Linktree before, definitely do it. If you're a content creator, especially. Yeah, it's one of our favorites. Awesome.
I've just put my Linktree link in there, but guys, if you go to the bottom of it, it'll put it up there, but you'll see how I've even got multiple businesses coming in. So I've got media connections, business, the courses and that sort of stuff. And just remember to update it regularly, because you'll have different blog posts and even the Ask Linda series on YouTube. So some of the value adds, because they're too long for Instagram, but you can put a cover image up, you can put a how-to, and then you can say the links in bio to head people through to your YouTube channel videos as well.
Awesome. That's so good. Yeah, beyond just driving traffic to your site, you can also use Instagram to grow your email list. You can take your relationship with your followers that you've built up on Instagram and speak to them in a little bit more personal way in their inbox. So think about ways you can actually put a sign up to your newsletter, maybe in your Instagram bio caption one time, collecting people's email addresses so you can nurture them along the buying process, along that journey a little bit further. And one way that you can kind of entice people to do this is creating free content like a giveaway or an ebook, taking some of your best blog posts and repurposing them into a PDF download that you can direct people to. You can create your own landing page for it, and you can put that link in your Instagram bio so that when people click on it, they're led to a place where they're forking over their email address, but an email address is never free these days. You need to offer them back. So that's why I like to say, think of your best existing content. If you don't have a blog or anything, think of some of your strongest Instagram posts that people have really been loving and repurpose those into that PDF, something helpful for them so that they can go ahead and get that email address from them. I love the way that they do this here at Green Blender. They actually have that email address collection go from the link in their bio to their special landing page, where they're able to collect that, and then their followers are able to get that free download. So think again about ways you can repurpose people from your Instagram account to grow other areas. So if you're cross-promoting to Facebook, if you're cross-promoting to Twitter or to your email list in general, everything in your marketing should support each other with one consistent strategy. And that link in bio section is really helpful for that. The carousel feature on Instagram, this is really great as well for getting that value added content because you can create multiple images. One of the things to remember with the carousel feature is it actually doesn't show the first photo to everyone. Instagram does kind of rotate through and test which photo they want to share with people. So one thing that I like to suggest if you are using this feature is in the caption, go ahead and write, if it's something that's sequential, like a recipe, go ahead and write people to swipe to the first one so that they're getting that sort of first view there. If it's not, no worries there, but just something to keep in mind. It's a great way to get that sort of instruction with that video going on there. And it's a great way not to overwhelm your followers with too many posts either. So if you took a lot of pictures at an event, like Linda was saying, if you're at a networking of conference or something and you snapped a lot of photos, you probably don't want to post them all as one-off images. It's going to maybe annoy your followers because they want to just be seeing their friends and family right now. But using the carousel feature, you can still get all 10 of those up there and still have one nice post about it.
Exactly.
Another great way I've seen brands use the carousel is trivia questions. So these are really fun because you do get that sort of engagement where people are able to really want to share this and kind of challenge their friends with it. So think about some trivia questions you can ask around your industry or your niche, and you can do that sort of question and answer swipe on the carousel feature, which is really fun for engagement as well. Sparking a conversation, again, engagement is where everything is going these days. So you want to be able to go ahead and make sure people are sharing their thoughts. And the carousel feature is a fun way to do this on just saying, you know, which one of these is your favorite and sharing a bunch of images about your business. Bring people into the whole entire aspect of creating a new product or service. If you guys are about to launch a feature and you're struggling on your team to decide what that feature should include, go ahead and put that A/B test in a carousel comment here and ask your community about it. People want to be a part of that process to create the strongest product and service. So it's a great way, again, just to ask more questions in a way that people are really easily able to answer. Captions to contextualize this as well is really important. You know, you can do things in the carousel feature like have these different quotes overlaid on some pretty backgrounds as we were speaking before, and it can tell a story as you swipe through, and that can just be snippets from within your blog post, but the longer form can be on the side, again, getting that great dwell time going on, getting people to actually stop and read it. But also if they don't want to read that entire paragraph, they can still get the sort of snippets of gold that you've put within those images there. Stories. This is the most popular feature on Instagram. You've seen Facebook copy it. You've seen Snapchat take off with it from the very beginning. So you know this is a form of content that people are loving. So they're short 15-second videos, 24-hour lifespan. They're at the top of the account, so people are already there. They're super easy to consume, and they're really community focused, and they're really authentic. So this goes back to the fact that if you're shooting a video on your phone, shoot it in that vertical aspect, go ahead and get it up on your story, and don't worry about having to do any extra editing for it, because it's a great way, again, to get that authentic connection going. Another thing to train your followers to come back to your stories is to share discounts only in your stories, because people are going to want to check back to that story. They know your discount's going to be there. So think about ways you can get that exclusive content in your stories so people want to check in more and more. If you do end up growing a huge Instagram following, which I'm sure you all will, you can also use the swipe up action in your story. So if you have that, you can swipe up and people can buy right from there. You do need 10,000 followers to do this, so you probably won't have that for a while, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be sharing that discount still. Just use that trusted trick of putting the link in your bio. So definitely don't worry if you don't have that huge following and you can't have the swipe up feature. You can still share that discount, get a link in your bio, and still train your followers about the ways they can get all of your awesome product for a discount. Events you attended, going right back to Linda's example here, is a great way to share multiple photos from an event without overwhelming your feed. It also helps you build authority in your industry, really increasing that know, like, and trust factor and positioning yourself as a thought leader, that you're there, you're communicating. Remember to go ahead and mention the people you're there with, so your community can start to see who you hang out with, who you network with, again, getting that great behind the scenes content.
And you can even, like with the events guys, poll people, you know, what do you think A/B you can, because the poll feature in stories I think is awesome, to get people to interact and get involved. Use the poll function when you're at events, especially if there's a big list, you know, who should I hunt down next, and, you know, put a couple options.
That is so fun.
Who should our celebrities talk?
I love that. That's so fun. We can tell you've been to an event or two. That's awesome. Yeah, as Linda was mentioning, make sure when you're at the events, you're actually tagging people, telling people where you are. Using your stories is a great way to do this because you can use a hashtag that the event puts out there. When people are searching it, the hashtag will actually populate that stories feature too. And it just gets you that great kind of taking the online stuff into the real world.
Yeah.
Sharing stuff about other businesses, that's going to be really great in curating for your followers is another thing that you can use stories for. You know, you don't necessarily want this to live on your curated Instagram feed, but you want your followers to get the benefit of knowing that you just discovered something really cool, like a really great J. Crew sale. So it's a great way to give them that great value added information, but not have to have it in your actual feed. So if you're an affiliate marketer, if you're affiliate for a bunch of different companies, I always suggest using your Instagram stories a lot for that too. So people can still have your personal branded information in the feed part, but you can still get the benefits of, and they can still get the benefits of the discounts that your affiliate program offers. Cross-promoting to different social networks is a great way to use Instagram stories, especially with video. If you guys are about to do like a YouTube live or a Facebook live, hop on for 15 seconds on your Instagram stories and go ahead and promote it there. It's a great way to get your personality out there, get your followers from Instagram knowing about your other networks, stuff like that. Takeovers. These are so popular on Instagram these days because it gets your content a little bit more diverse. And again, it's coming from a person that might have some authority with your followers that you weren't aware of. So what a takeover is it's where you give your account to a special guest and they can control it for the day. And what we've seen work really well with these is what's called that purple cow content. So this is a concept in marketing that says, you know, if you drive past 10 brown cows on a drive one day, you're not going to stop. But if one of them is purple, you're probably going to stop. And this can work the same way for your Instagram takeovers. If people are just seeing the same type of content from you, but one day that content is really different, it's probably going to make them stop and look. So it's a cool way to kind of engage a community again. If you're finding that your Instagram is going a little stale, that you're not getting that engagement, try doing a takeover to re-engage some of your followers there. When you're doing this, definitely seek out people who align with your brand values, who align with everything that you like to go ahead and portray out there, because it is still your account and it is still your brand that you've worked so hard to get a great reputation for out there. If you are going to do an Instagram takeover, go ahead and let people know on your Instagram so that you can find followers who are interested in doing this, you know, putting it out there that you're going to do this, ask people. Some creative ways of doing this is you can also create things like a shared Google Doc, or you could create a Trello board or something so that you don't have to give out your Instagram password, but you just get that person to add all of their content there and you're the one actually posting it.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, totally. So there's a lot of shared resources like Asana, Trello, Google Docs in general is just a really easy one to use too.
Yep.
So you can still get the benefit, but not have to get super scared about giving out that password.
Because that was my question.
So true. Yeah. Excuse me. So guys, we are coming to the end here. Super appreciate you sticking with us throughout all of this. And I really want you to think about Instagram as a part of your whole marketing strategy. Again, everything cannot live in silos in marketing anymore. It has to be this omni-channel approach where we're showing up for our followers, we're showing up for our communities where they want to see and learn from us. So you need to get really organized. You need to make a content calendar and have Instagram be a part of your strategy and not something that you just do when you have the time. So whatever strategy works well for you, definitely go out and do it. One that I'm going to suggest, just because I am a little bit biased, is using a scheduler like Edgar. So if you do use a scheduler like Edgar, how it is going to work is you're able to download our app. All you got to do is go to ed.gr/mobile apps. Go ahead and email us if you need that.
App is
go ahead and download our app, and you're going to connect your account to it. And then we can start to add your Instagram content and add your schedule. And you can actually do that right on Meet Edgar on the desktop computer or laptop that you're using. So it makes it really nice to be able to type out your status update, and you're able to actually load your photos on your computer if that's important to you as well. This over here is a photo of what it would look like inside Edgar. So this is our create content screen. You're just going to go ahead and check off your Instagram account. And again, you can go ahead and type out your entire your entire status update there, so your thumbs don't get super tired on your phone. And you can upload your images. We do allow you to upload video or up to 10 images for one Instagram account. So you can plan all of this out, batching your content, you know, sitting down for a couple of hours every Monday and batching out your content for the week or batching it out for the month, so that you can be in that creative headspace, so that your strategy is actually telling that story consistently, so that you're writing in your brand voice and not having to just do it on the fly. So you're going to be adding all of these pieces of content to your Meet Edgar library on your computer. You're going to schedule it out in the same way that you do for other content. Again, you can go ahead and create multiple photos within Edgar, stuff like that. Once you schedule it out, what's going to happen is a push notification is going to come to your phone when your content is ready to send. You're going to swipe on that push notification, at which point the text will automatically be copied to your phone. The photos or photo will automatically be copied to your camera roll. You'll just tap from the Edgar app to open Instagram, at which point you can choose to post it to your story or to your feed. All you need to do is tap to paste the text and find the photo on your camera roll and go ahead and post it there. So again, it's a great way to have your strategy set, all your content in the library. If you miss that push notification, don't worry. The Instagram post will still be in the Edgar app, so you don't have to do it right away if you're driving or anything like that.
And it reminds
It'll still be there. Exactly. So you get that nice reminder. So if you do have multiple Instagram accounts that you use for your business, you can also hook up multiple ones to Edgar. He'll always double check that you're posting to the proper one that you want.
Account,
so there's that. Totally. So yeah, that's kind of how it works right now. We are working on direct posting. Instagram does have to approve people for that. So once we get that approval, we'll be able to offer direct posting the same way that it works in Edgar for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. But having that great sort of strategy laid out where you're able to batch out all your content, get it into the library, and know that it's there and ready for the week is going to be a huge time saver. So if you want to test this out, let us know if you have questions. support@meetedgar.com. I actually do our onboarding. So if you ever need a call or anything like that, we're more than happy to hop on with that. But to get your free month, yeah, it's just that business code right there when you sign up, and definitely be taking advantage of that. And like I said, we're always happy to help you get your account set up as well if you need.
Beautiful. We've got a few, we'll pop the links, guys, into the live stream over the next little while as well. Have we got any questions? Has anyone got any questions for Megan and I? I'll pop the link into the chat for those who are here in the webinar right now. Live stream, I'll pop it all in there for you very later. There's a couple of links that we mentioned, and I will, multitasking is only going so far today. So I can watch 2 streams of conversation. Donna says, what great content. Thank you so much for sharing. We do love it when Megan comes and shares with us, because you learn so much. It is awesome to learn so much. Guys, just a quick update from me on what's coming up next. So skills webinar wise, we have Jo Saunders joining us next week, and she's sharing with us tips on LinkedIn and selling on LinkedIn. So we're actually talking about the sales process of social media with Jo on selling on LinkedIn. So if you head to business.com.au/skills, that will allow you to register for that one. Then on the 26th, we have Cara coming in and doing the psychology of social media. So once you've started to have a play with Edgar, share some evergreen content, Cara's going to be able to tell you what works and what doesn't work. And you'll be able to have a look at that one as well. For those who are watching us that are in Melbourne, I have the first workshop of 2019 that I'm about to do. Which is a Facebook workshop where we're going to look at optimizing your Facebook profiles, your business pages, your content, and how to make those tags and Facebook Live videos and that, do the final little things so that your reach is actually engaging that audience and talking to the audience like Megan and I were talking to you about today, how it can do that. There is some space limit in that one. I popped the link in to the chat for that workshop. It's on Eventbrite if you need it. It's on my Facebook page as well for anyone who needs it. Please go and find it. We have some amazing skills webinars coming up. Megan, I'd love to have you back again later on in the year.
Definitely we'll have to do that.
And I'm looking forward to talking to you with the 52-week challenge marketers more about social media automation in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be exciting. Wow. First skills webinar for 2019 is done.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it.
with us. Thank you guys so much for your time today. This has been a blast. Definitely, if you want to follow up, like Linda said, tag us at me Edgar, tag Linda in those photos and stuff today, and we'll be looking out for them for sure.
Tag me in a photo, the most creative photo, the most one that's taken the most suggestions from here and popped it into the Instagram post. That's what we're looking for, the most creative photo of the webinar. Yeah, Donna's going to tag Donna. Okay, challenge. Donna said, I would tag you, but I need to set up my account first. Well, we're giving you your first post idea. Go set up your Instagram account.
I love it.
Go set up your Instagram account, if for no other reason than to claim your real estate and know that you have access to your real estate. I always say this, in all the workshops, I do, claim your real estate, claim your name, your business name, and any key stakeholders. I am going to judge the good ones, and I'm not going to promise you a coaching call if you get it up today, but I will judge and I will look at the one that is most creative and they will win the coaching call today. There might be a little bit of a bonus for everyone else that pops one up as well, because, I'm already in trouble. I might as well go and see how much more trouble.
So rebellious today.
But yeah, there'll be a bonus for everyone who tags me, Edgar. It's good. Madonna's saying it's good to be in trouble. Okay, I'll let you do the phone call with Clive when I walk out of the office. Because you guys haven't seen the messages I've been getting, but it's all good. Guys, head to business.com.au/skills for all the webinars. You'll see down the bottom there a follow us on Eventbrite thing. If you follow us on Eventbrite, as soon as the webinar goes up, as soon as something goes in, Eventbrite's going to send you an email to say that it is there. We send out newsletter links, we send all of that sort of stuff, but if you want to be the first one to know, Eventbrite is the first place a webinar goes, it's the first place a workshop goes, and then it comes out to the websites, because that's how our automation systems all work to work in it. So there we go. Tag me on Instagram, tag me Edgar on Instagram, show us what you learned today, show us what you've done, and I will be watching Instagram, popping those through. I will make an announcement on my Instagram feed tomorrow morning with who our winner is. I'll give you to midnight tonight to get the post up. I'll make an announcement on my feed tomorrow morning on who the winner is. So that is going to be the 13th of February. And for those of you who don't know, Business turns 5 on Valentine's Day on the 14th of February, about 9 o'clock at night. I reckon is when I was sitting by a lake in Neetung and started to create the community that we now have today. So that's an interesting tip for those of you who don't know and want a random fact. And we are in Social Media Boost Week in the group. We have a thread for Instagram feeds, for putting your Instagram feed in there. Pop it in each night around 6 o'clock, between 6 and 6:30. Don't hold us to anything particularly solid around time. We will be putting in a thread for you to boost your social profiles this week. So get involved in it. You can't grow your audience if you're not sharing what you do with others. Megan, thanks for joining us again. Great to see you. Love seeing pics of snow on Instagram from you.
Oh, man. Yeah, thanks. I'll keep an eye out for those beach ones.
I'll throw some new beach ones for you. Yeah,
exactly. Appreciate that.
Have a great week, everyone, and we will see you same time next week, 11 a.m. next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.